We begin with a final farewell to an icon, a force, a friend. Those are just some of the words used today to describe the late Senator Dianne Feinstein, as she was remembered today in the city that launched her groundbreaking political career. Feinstein's memorial at the steps of San Francisco City Hall brought together some of the most powerful people in American politics, including Vice President Kamala Harris, 30 senators, more than a dozen congressional representatives. They reflected on her legacy as the first female mayor of San Francisco and longest-serving female senator.
Dianne was such a commanding mayor for 10 powerful years that when her term was up and some other people started to run for mayor, including some men, school children were saying, "Can a man be mayor of San Francisco?"
And the large presence of elected officials was one of the main reasons the decision was made late yesterday to close the service to the public. Security around Civic Center Plaza was tight. We saw law enforcement on the roof, as you see there, on top of City Hall. Secret Service and local police surrounding long lines of barriers. Kenny Choi was out there at City Hall with me today, and so many of Feinstein's colleagues say there was no better fitting place than City Hall to honor her. What an afternoon, right?
Yeah, it was such a beautiful ceremony, and in San Francisco, her hometown, Juliet. For so many people here today, they memorialized her for how relentless the late senator could be as a politician, but also having that personal and gentle touch when it came to connecting those around her.
They came to say goodbye to a woman who broke glass ceilings in the political world.
She had that internal gyroscope, what she felt was right and what she felt was wrong. And that gyroscope propelled her to do many great things with all the pushback, and she broke so many glass ceilings in many ways.
Longtime colleague and former U.S. Senator from California, Barbara Boxer, and the late Senator Feinstein paved the way for women to follow in their footsteps. Feinstein's began in the city by the Bay.
San Francisco was the place that believed in her, and I think it is so fitting, and such a gorgeous day, and I think it's obviously what she wanted, and it is fitting.
She connected people with others, and during her time as mayor and supervisor of San Francisco, she made change happen.
Ranging from the toxic cleanup of the Bayview Hunters Point shipyard to the restoration of the cable cars, to finding money to restore the historic ships at Aquatic Park. I mean, the list is virtually endless. It's going to be a tough loss for San Francisco because whoever replaces her is not going to keep San Francisco foremost in their everyday thoughts.
Feinstein's roots made their way to the nation's capital, as her command in negotiating rooms had an impact on a younger generation of political powers, including the vice president.
In that room, there was give and take, substantive debate, and problem solving. And that was quintessential Dianne.
Nancy, you don't always have to be the one going out on the attack. Let some other people do that from time to time. Why don't you do that?
Kenny, the tributes were just remarkable. And then listening to her granddaughter as well speak. And then I know that you heard it as well. Right. During the ceremony, we could hear the Blue Angels fly over. And sometimes when you're speaking, you're like, oh, I need to pause. And in my mind, I thought, you know what? That's the late Senator Dianne Feinstein saying, look, guys, enough already talking about me, right?
Exactly, and it's a fitting tribute to her because she did bring the Blue Angels to San Francisco back in 1981. And she brought so many things, including them and as well as the cable cars. And so you heard it from those politicians and her colleagues and her friends today saying, you know, this is what the late senator would have wanted.
Yeah,
so perfect.
It was so perfect.
Yeah.
And her granddaughter saying that she was just a shining light, and boy, was that sun shining today.
Yeah, she said that she was her sunshine.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
So great to see you there also for a great moment. Thank you. Okay, so we also heard some personal stories as we were talking about Senator Feinstein, her granddaughter, reflecting today on some of the life advice she got from her beloved grandmother. Take a listen.
It doesn't matter how many times you lose. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you keep going, no matter what. That, and she would also say to me, if you ever go out of town, no matter where you're going. It doesn't matter if you're going to a city or the desert or a beach or the mountains. Always pack a black pantsuit.
San Francisco, open your golden gate to let no stranger wait outside your door.
Their voices were beautiful. The San Francisco Girls Chorus performing at today's memorial for Senator Feinstein, ending the ceremony with this very fitting song.